Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the only podcast that is both indispensable and also on a performance improvement plan. I'm Atlas Novak. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, and this episode hits home. I'll be honest with you. This I love the title and everything because that is exactly what it is. Torture is scheduled from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You get a half-hour break, and you know what? You get breaks in between. Take them at your own dismay. Our guest today is Sarah, the Rabid corporate Shill. Love the name. It's fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I love, if nothing more, talking about my own personal enslavement in the bonds of capitalism.
Right. Like, in all honesty, the best part is when you work. So I used to be a financial planner, which is a real job with like real responsibilities and stuff. And, even there, like the weirdness of people who are like, this is my whole identity and everything. You're like, hey, that's not real. You're not a person. You're just a job. And they're like, what? And you're like, yeah, man, that's not there's a lot more to it. And people don't get it. And I'm not sure if it's on purpose or what, but it is a thing. So,
of course, we are a podcast devoted to the study and speaking of the differences between generations, which I think goes great with Sarah's content, where you talk about like just kind of work culture, and then mostly Gen Z people in the comments being like, why do I gotta wear pajamas at work? Or why can't I wear pajamas at work?
There's another comment that I haven't yet responded to, which was, I don't know, like somewhere in the background, my cats are doing sort of a kamikaze thing where they find the loudest possible thing that they can play with and decide now is the time. Sorry about that.
They're contributing. It's okay.
Talk about divine wind. Yeah.
But so there's a commenter that said, it's not even necessarily about like, you expect, there's a lot of this that is just chalk upable to youth, right? But like, there's a lot of teachers in the comments who are like, I just don't really care what my students wear to work or to school. Like, what matters is their performance. And it all got into, this all started because, and you're going to wait for like the punchline or like the other part. There is no other part. So what I said was, hey, when you get job, go ahead and clock in and then go ahead and do job. And then at clock out time, you leave. And a bunch of youths said, no, you bootlicking bitch. And I remain shocked by this, that this was kind of a chorus
so aggressive.
Of responses. Yeah.
That's not even like a political thing. That's just what happens. That would be like, you go to car, you sit in car, you put key in ignition, you turn key, engine roars to life, and they're like, no.
No. And here's, I was also once a sophomore in college, right? Like, remember learning all these like big, new, exciting words to describe systems. You're like, yeah, the system felt rigged. And like, yes, you are right. But like, wow, it's a lot more complicated than that. Like, how much time do you have? But also, you still have to mop the floor, Jeremy, even though we are all working against systems of oppression. And I would argue that the shackles of capitalism is one of them. Also, floor's dirty, man. Just get the mop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned teachers because I'm a teacher. And in regards to like students coming to school in their pajamas, I don't know. You're a millennial, right? You were in school during 9/11. Okay, you're a millennial. So when we were kids and people would come to school with like their midriff exposed or like the too thin spaghetti straps or, the shorts are too short, whatever, you would get dress coded. And that is not a thing anymore.
Not at all.
Even if you as a teacher disagree with what a kid is wearing, the problem is that admin doesn't enforce it anymore. Yeah. And at a certain point, like, you can't spend all the time being like, put a sweater on because you've got to teach these kids how to read or whatever the thing is.
Yep. And I was normally I would suggest like get a bunch of humiliatingly oversized clothes from a Goodwill, but like teachers still have to buy like pencils with their own like out of pocket money. Like where is that money supposed to come from? You know what I mean?
I don't want to have, you know,
Yeah.
I have the time or resources. I'm all for like, you know, kids being too big for their britches and kind of getting
Sure.
the nose out of it, so to speak. But
listen, let's just be honest. They need to bring back bullying and Fight Club to schools. That's the only real solution we have. Just before we continue, Victoria says,
I don't know what kind of
"Hello."
school you had. We didn't have Fight Club. We had
Hey, you know what?
chess club.
Listen. Having a Fight Club in school, I'm not saying it should be like kindergarteners. I'm just saying there should be. Listen, the country of Peru, every day after Christmas has a festival where everyone gets to throw hands against whoever they want. It is completely legitimate, and people, hey, you settle it on Boxing Day with hands. And you know what? The rest of the year, everyone's peaceful. Nobody's like, hey, Peru, they're causing shit. No, one day a year, they throw hands and it's done. Anyways.
Oh, no, it's Boxing Day, but like Boxing Day, not
exactly
Boxing Day.
So Victoria says Apollo is sorting with me watching your podcast, of course, because he's a cat. Okay, Wally John says, okay, here we go. Trivia question between you guys. His first one was, what breed of dog is Scooby-Doo? Great Dane.
Great Dane.
We're being brigaded by some. Okay,
it gets weirder. I'll tell you that, because Free Him Please says, loving the stream. Just wanted to say I subbed and shout out to when my 1-year-old sister was drowned by my 2-year-old sister when I was 8. Jesus Christ. That
okay.
Out of control. Yeah. At the high school I work, I had a whole closet full of supplies. I mean, apparently somebody lives in the Labs Luxury or, you know, the Wizard of Oz. I don't know. But either one. Listen, it's hilarious how you guys both brought this up about school related stuff. And it's like yes, why can't you wear pajamas to work? I don't think that people should decide on how skilled or professional you are by the clothes you wear. I agree. The alternative is a work uniform, and we all just have the exact same gray clothing that we have to wear day in and day out. You can't have everything. It's not perfect, but you know what? Don't wear a Speedo to work. That's inappropriate, even in the summertime. Just, you know. Because if you get to wear a Speedo, I get to wear a Speedo. And trust me, nobody wants that. It's just
follow the stagehand / mime rule, right? Like at most, you want to go the Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs was known for his black Isamiyaki turtleneck, black pants. Easy peasy, right? Like pick a uniform. There are so many people in the comments who are like, I have simplified my life. I have chosen a uniform. People comment on it and then they forget about it because I'm not there for my clothes. Yes.
I mean, look,
I realize I do something kind of like this because I have like a dad sweater that I wear to school. I got about 4 of them. They're different colors. They're some kind of cardigan.
Yep.
And plain t-shirt, jeans, sneakers.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it. Like, also,
that is fully acceptable
because my classroom, my classroom is a really old building, and the AC is one of those ones you had in your gym when you were a kid, where it works too well. So, like, I need the sweater, no matter what kind of year, what time of year it is.
If
sometimes
I had,
you just, yeah.
If I had to do, you know, my pre-uniform era over again, I would have done the full Steve Jobs uniform. Like that would be my first like tip to the youths is like, oh, okay, listen, this is a fascinating thing that another commenter brought up, which is there are a lot of kids, and I say kids under 25s, no car rentals for these babies.
Right.
They're wearing very expensive sweatpants and pajamas and loungewear, and they don't understand that because it's $100 still does not mean it's work appropriate. Isn't that an interesting like?
That's not.
I would go one step further. If there's an elastic at the bottom of your jogging pants, not work appropriate.
I have unfortunately a full closet full of jogger scrubs.
Listen, and that's fine, but it's the whole idea is if it has an elastic at the ankle, don't wear them outside your house. Just unless that is your uniform, then that's different. But that is how it's one of those weird things where people are like, oh, what about these? I'm like, yeah, but it's an elastic around the bottom. I'm like, listen, I used to be fat. I can't have any sort of restriction around my ankle. It's for other medical reasons. Okay, just calm down. Yeah. Crystal says no pajamas at work. That is a disgrace to humanity. I agree. But at the same time, you should get like 3 days a year, like personal days, but they're pajama come in days where you're like, listen, just fucking, I'm having a thing. I can't wear pants. They're too, I went to a buffet yesterday. I also got drunk. I'm bloated. I don't want any of this. You know, it's a very reasonable thing. I feel, you know,
I'm wearing pajamas right now, but I'm at home. That's
correct. Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen.
I also want to make a comment. There was an interesting flare up that happened on TikTok where a lot of slovenly babies were like, listen, dress codes are racist. And if you don't let me wear pajamas to work, that is racist of you. And here's what I want to say. Please don't hurt yourself with that reach. Orthopedic surgery is extremely expensive these days. And anesthesia is not a guarantee. But what we're not going to do, what I simply refuse to do, is I refuse to lower the dignity quotient of the racial justice movement by saying, like, you know what this is really about? It's about your right to wear pajamas at your accounting job. No. We're not making it about that. I just want to let that one out right at the top, you know?
I would go one further and ask what race it is that's wearing pajamas nonstop, because I want to join. I'm just, listen, I'm Greek. I'll wear a toga to say, hey, it's culturally appropriate and nobody can say shit. I'm down, but like, I don't know what did Atlanteans just wear jogging pants and pajamas all day? I'm okay with it. That may be why God struck them down. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't even know if God did it.
The toga seems pretty like comfy.
It's airy. It's, you know, if you need more, add more togas. It's pretty reasonable when you think about it. You know,
he's Greek. So.
You know, a fleece lined toga for winter months. I'm in Canada. It gets cold, you know?
Like, okay. So I also wanted to have you on the show because on paper, I sort of disagree with the dress code thing in the sense that I have a hatred of specifically suits and more often like modern suits because from like the 1980s onward, they are a very boring, drab piece of clothing that doesn't really have a lot of expression to it compared to the options women have in the workplace. And you can kind of put that on the AIDS crisis, but that's like a history thing that I'm not going to get into. I'm serious because
it's a really I mean, I know it's not a joke, but like, that really caught me in the 70s. There.
Suits were starting to get more elaborate, and like you see that in like the way people dress up to go disco dancing and stuff like that. And because people associated that with gay people, and then when the AIDS crisis happened, like you see where I'm going with that. Anyway,
absolutely.
I associate them with lawyers and specifically divorce lawyers, and my parents were divorcing for 8 years, so fuck suits. But I also get the whole, like, if your uniform is important to what it is you're doing at work, i.e., if I'm like as a teacher, dressing kind of teacherly is important to separate yourself from the classroom. I used to work at an eye doctor's office doing the medical records. Even though I never talked with anybody in person, I still had to be there in the scrubs in case I ran into a patient who needed this or that thing.
I have a hypothesis. What if we switch things around? So like if you're a CEO, you're not allowed to wear pants with a zipper. Like you have to wear jogging pants. If you're a lawyer, you can't wear, like you have to wear like those cargo pants that zip apart into shorts. That's the only pair of pants you could, like, weird shit like that. And that way, like you can, that way you force people who think they're like all powerful, they have to wear ugly shit. Like, like I'm just saying, is every lawyer has to wear Crocs with the little headlight knobs on top, like something weird. And then you're like, your distinguishing mode of dress is no longer a peak, but it's a cross you must bear because of your horribleness as a lawyer. I feel I think that's a thing.
Can I also just interject and say that I once dumped a guy because he wore those zip off pants to a party, and in the middle of like having the conversation, he sets his plate down, bends over, both hands at the same time, simultaneously zip the pant legs off, and then whips them off in the middle of the party, doesn't leave. And it gave me the ick so bad that I said, oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the closest you get to like a quick change in a musical. I saw I saw Beetlejuice last night, and they do a thing where like they rip his suit off, and he's in like a red like velvet thing. That's basically what that is. And I remember having those like pants as a kid. I hated doing the shorts thing. What do you do with the second half?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You put them in your cargo pockets. Exactly. So it looks twice as ridiculous.
It makes it look ridiculous, and it renders those pockets useless. So
suggestion, we put snaps on the side, snaps on your shirt. Now you got epaulets, shorts.
Okay.
And you're very official on top.
Okay.
Very nice.
So, okay, hold on. Atlas, you brought this up, wearing snaps back in the day. So, Sarah, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this because I'm older than both you guys. But back in the day when snaps were a new thing, is we would go around and we would tear them off people, right? Like that was, and it was a funny, I got had before it happens. I, on the other hand, being a giant, I saw a guy wearing like track pants, what I thought were snaps. So I walked up to him, I gotcha, and I just ripped his pants off. Like, and then he's just like, why would you do that, man? And I'm like, I thought these were snaps. He's like, they're not. And I'm just like, here's your pants back. I'm sorry. It was an accident. Oh. And I feel like having those kind of fully snap away clothes in public it's
an invitation, like you might say.
Well, you learn a lesson really, really quick about why that's for your home comfort. Or when you're working out and say, hey, I can't change. I just need to let more air in, or I'm a stripper. That's fine too. It's a very useful, but like day to day, I don't know.
I pray every day that someone comes up with a Kobe style powder throwing, but it's like a stripper bit, and they play the intro music, the pre-basketball intro music. Anyway, another story for another time. That's a freebie idea out there for you.
Victoria says, you dress for the job you want. Also, zip off pants. Victoria's my wife, by the way, Sarah. So zip off pants at any social setting is an ick. LOL. That's only for exercise. I mean, she's a fashion designer. She knows this stuff. Yeah. Camping, and even then, I feel like you should be able to add extra pants in camping, like additional, like second layer pants. You could double your pants, but only in certain areas. I think it'd be funny. I mean, people will buy it. You got to charge $1,000 for just like the base pants, and then additional layers. Like you could have hologram ones, like Pokemon cards, where it's like, this is a shiny. My shin's not so shiny, but the thigh part shiny. Yeah. You can get like a crotch zipper part where it's like an explosion on it happening. Something. I don't know. There are ideas. That could work.
I've said for years that the problem with things is they don't have a union suit style butt flap. We just more butt flaps on everything. Imagine the convenience.
See, I'll be honest with you.
There's like a college humor bit where one of them is like trying on a romper. And then like she has like an angel devil on your shoulder moment of like whether or not to get the romper. And there's a thing where she's like, you're right. Rompers are for toddlers and Beyonce. And I just like it.
It's not that. Hey, listen, it's onesies are great until you have to pee. That's it. That's the 100% is
you naked in that public stall thinking about your choices. And the fact that any passerby most of the time could just see your whole entire naked form in its worst position, which is roly-polied, where you're like at maximum front roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And additional like 40% side roll at that point too. It's one of those things where also there's no way, if something goes wrong and you're wearing a onesie, that's it. Like it's you're done. Everyone's gonna know that something went wrong. And especially the state of public toilets in this day and age, you don't roll it when you put it down and it falls to the ground. All of a sudden you don't have a urine stain, you have someone else's urine stain on you. You don't want that.
On the front of you, on like potentially an above the navel zone, like the nightmare of it all. Also, let me just, for a while, and I still cannot figure out if Office Siren was like Tide Pods, like it's something to just enrage the old people. But if Office Siren was indeed real, please do not try to be sexy at work. The younger you are, the more important it is that you try not to be sexy at work.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, listen, I I have the face of what my wife has coined. It's resting murder face, because I look at people and I just go, and they're like, "Why are you so angry?" I'm like, "Oh no, I just didn't know you were looking. I just if I raise my eyebrows every now, I'm a happy, just a fun-loving giant. Regular day, it's like that's a murderer. That's a murderer. Stay away from that person." So, like that being said, it's like there are times when I've had coworkers who very much invested in their personal appearance, which, hey, you do you. At the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna need you to take 4 steps that way, and they're like, why? And I'm like, you make me uncomfortable. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no one's going to believe anything I say if you say something. If they're like, so I'm in Dino's office and he just whips it out, and people are going, that's for sure what happened. And I'm like, I haven't been at work all week. They're like, you probably did it at home, you pervert. Like, it's not, I can't, it's very uncomfortable.
I think any workplace has a 7 Dwarves to Game of Thrones spectrum between most cooperative to most cutthroat of like what it is you need to be accomplishing. So for teachers, that can land almost anywhere, but most schools are closer to the Game of Thrones side, because it's like, do you get along with your principal? Admin, you got to get along with the like the office ladies and the plant manager and all that stuff. So it's like this very delicate game of like, how do I be as friendly as possible while also being as unassuming as possible?
Hence why every workplace needs a fight club. I'm just like,
if only.
Not even, I'm not even saying that I say, look, have mouth guards, have gloves, have head guard, whatever you need. But sometimes you just need to punch a motherfucker in the face. I feel like that's very reasonable.
Here is an unfortunate and misogynistic truth that I feel comfortable sharing, having experienced it. Like, a lot of older women pick on younger women because they're just younger. Like, they maybe didn't do all the things that they wanted to do when they were in their 20s. And, like, the patriarchy tells you all the time that you're like a husk. You're like used up. You know what I mean? Like, your wrapper is all dried out. And instead of like enjoying and like celebrating your experiences and your knowledge, right? Like, there's a certain kind of older woman at every workplace who will try to make your life hard for daring to exist at 23 and pert and perky. You know what I mean? And the more you sort of dress down to, and it shouldn't be like this, right? This isn't fair, but like, if you show cleavage, that same woman is going to be 10 times harder on you. And so by like kind of neutralizing yourself as much as possible in the way that you dress, like, you are taking yourself off of a certain bitchy kind of person's radar who will absolutely make your life miserable because they're just bored.
Right. Yeah. Well, and also too, women are so fucking mean to each other. Like, honestly, not always,
but let me put it this way. The ones that want to be mean girls are a certain kind of girl. If you encounter a mean girl, they will use every avenue and every opportunity to be mean to somebody. Do you know what I mean? So deprive them of opportunity.
Yes. I agree with you. Victoria just said, I love onesies and I wear it to work and regret it every time I go pee. That's
one of my favorite genres of comment when we do this show is people who keep going on a thing we were talking about before, and it just keeps going for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Onesies are important. I get it. Onesies are important. Yeah. It's and this is the thing too. Like, I've had, like, for myself, when I was, so while I was a financial planner, I was, bigger, fatter than I am now. Yeah, probably a little bit bigger. And like, my big thing, because I invested, like, I like wearing a suit, unlike Atlas. I'm like, for me, it feels like a suit of armor, and I love it. Because I look so fucking dangerous in it. And I'm just like, that's like, so my thing was 3-piece suit. I would have French cuffs and collars. I would have cufflinks,
made out of human $400.
I mean, not only one pair. So but the whole thing was.
And by the way, like, people notice, you know what I mean? Like, somebody with that kind of attention to detail, you're like, okay, like, this guy knows what's up.
Yeah. And to the point where I remember we were getting suits and shirts made, And I'm like, I want that gray suit and I want that purple shirt. And my wife looks at me, who's a fashion designer? And she's like, purple and gray. I'm like, listen, I've been wearing suits since I was 5 years old. Just calm down. Then I wore the full ensemble. Of course, I grabbed like a $400 Canali tie. And I'm like, I show up and she's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, I know how to wear a suit. I don't know how to dress like a human, but a suit, I know. And that was like to the point where people, because I was fat, I'm still fat, but very fat then, people would walk into my office and think I'm an idiot. And then I would do all sorts of crazy stuff. And then they're like, hold on, you're dressed nice and now you don't sound stupid. I can't understand because you're still fat. And I'm like, that's okay. This is fun to me. And I would go on and on and on and on and on. And it was great because in any sort of corporate environment or even client facing environment, they immediately have so many assumptions. And you're just like, hey, how about we have a little slap fight first? I'll let you go first and then I'll smack you. And then we could just treat each other like human beings. And I feel like there's something there. I don't know. It's a weird thing that the amount of people that are so insane in the workplace that you're just like, there has to be some solution to this. Because like you said, like I've seen older women gang up on younger women who were, I'll be honest, once I saw it, the young girl was a smoke show to the point where I'm like, you shouldn't be around these slovenly people. Like, you should go away somewhere else, find a dragon, I don't know, whatever you have to do. But they ganged up on her and she quit. She was like, I don't need this in life. And I'm like, good for you. Go become a queen somewhere. I don't know what you have to do, but this is not the place for you. Like, she got tore into by an old man who stunk. And I'm like, no, man. I'm like, that's not right. I can't. This is inhumane, right? It's weird. It's a weird thing.
We're talking about when it comes to like generational division, which is what this kind of to circle us back around. I do feel like we've never been at a greater point of polarity where the whole point of like things like 6-7, right? Like, Atlas, you know better than anybody. Like the sort of the nature of 6-7 is that we don't understand it, right? Like, that is the point, is that like it angers and there's nothing to understand, right?
I put it as like like their version of us going, what's that? Like, it just doesn't really matter. So it doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Just that, like, there's never been. I feel like this whenever I text one of my Gen Z coworkers and I use an emoji, I get like a flop sweat because I'm like, what if this means penis? Like, what if this means? What if this means I'm wet for your dick and all I meant is that it's hot on the bus? Like, I just want you to know that it's hot on the bus. And I'm so anxious about being seen as like disconnected from particularly young people in a way that I was never worried about feeling that way towards like proving something to older people. But now it just feels like generationally, everything is so fucking thick. Can I cuss on your show?
Yeah, you do everyone.
Great. Yeah. So fucking thick with like extra context and extra meaning just because like, culture moves so fast and it layers on top of each other. I love the term palimpsest, which is like the imprint of writing from, several works on top of it. And you end up with this like imprint of all the writing that's done on this writing pad. And now I feel like kids simultaneously have this sort of cultural agnosticism, I guess is what I would say, where they are aware of like LeBron's Nike commercials from the early 2000s, but also they don't know that when your supervisor says no, don't email your supervisor's boss. And how do you not know that? You know what I mean?
There's like,
I would start earlier and just explain to them, by the way, you should know HR couldn't give a shit about anyone here. HR works for the company and the company alone. And whoever causes risk to the company is a problem that needs to be removed. It's that simple.
There's like, I teach seniors for English mostly. And like every year I've been teaching, I've had a different grade in addition. But I've always taught seniors. And at the end of each year, I do one class called The Last Lecture, which is all these little like idiosyncrasies that have nothing to do with Othello, for example. Like, these are just things you would need in everyday life. And I feel like I should like keep some of these down for this, because it's like how to maintain friendships after high school and that sort of thing. Like stuff about, roommates and things that you're going to run into very shortly. But that is also good to keep track of.
Yeah, but that's that's the thing is there should be like okay, I don't know how it is in the States, but do you guys have to take English every single year that you're in school?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So why isn't there a course called How Not to Be Retarded? There's just like, hey,
probably from the
I'm
title.
Hey, it's coming back. I don't give a shit. Okay. And you know what? Hey, it's the word. It's on retard, not on me. Blame languages. Oh yeah, I'm Greek. That's my fault. Suck it. No.
Okay, so I think what you mean is like some of these skills should be transferable, which is if you have a beef with your teacher and you go to the principal, it doesn't usually work out very well.
Right.
Compared to if you just try to resolve it with the teacher, but for some reason the transfer part of that isn't sticking. Where people on TikTok are always saying like, why does nobody have media literacy? English was media literacy class, you idiots.
Exactly right. Yep. Yeah. I worry, I get concerned sometimes that, and you know what? This is actually a question I should ask you. How has your relationship, how long have you been teaching?
This is my 3rd year teaching.
Okay.
I'm still pretty new. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, have you noticed, that's a short period of time to observe. That's only like 3 classes worth, but a change in a relationship to problem solving with the development of ChatGPT?
Yes. And I also, I talked to a lot of like old head teachers because I'm not getting my credential the usual way where you do it in college and then just have your credential. I'm doing the intern program where you are teaching at the same time you're taking the classes.
Yep.
So a lot of the like salient things that I've learned has been through experience and other teachers at my school. Hey, what was this like before the pandemic? Like, just tell me. And it was a big like hit to both like particularly reading comprehension. Not reading. They know how to read. It's like understanding what the point of something is. And also like problem solving skills and that sort of thing. Like the people who are in middle school during the pandemic got hit the worst because that's a huge important time for like social development, and those kids are just now getting into college.
That's a nightmare. That is a nightmare.
2032
everyone
is when everybody who was in the school system when the pandemic happened will leave it, and then that's probably better-ish, I think. But especially since ChatGPT, everybody has their like every teacher has their what do I do about AI? Everybody has to like figure out that question. How I do it is I'm like 90% pen and paper. All of my exams are like in class with a pen, and yes, some of these kids have like bunk ass handwriting, but I will take it on the chin if it means they're not uploading their brain to a slot machine.
Bless you.
You know what Atlas, have you ever thought if your school has old shitty typewriters from the before times? Because then you can have your students, because listen, I'll be honest with you, I can't read my own writing. Okay. So if I had a typewriter with my 2-finger banditry, I could pop out an essay real quick, but then it's fully legible and it's a real thing, right? Because let's be honest, it's the basic breakdown of people's ability to not only critically think, but also critically communicate, critically discuss something where we don't have to be enemies. The enemy is this thing that we're trying to overcome. So if we discuss it, even heatedly, we both come out more knowledgeable, maybe not a resolution, but more knowledgeable than we were before, which is a great thing. But after all is said and done, it seems like people are like, no, I just need to say my piece. And you're like, nobody cares. If we're all enough to grow
room during the exam. The problem is that
that's a good idea.
Like Google specifically has its, talons into education. We gave everybody laptops and you have to use our tech, and that means access to AI because we're Google. So it's very hard to decouple that from each other. And also I think actually writing down information helps you remember it more and synthesize
it
more.
We had to, there was a young woman who was newly hired at my work. They give you a little notepad, just a little pocket size one, and a little pen. And there were a couple people who were taking notes and a couple people who were not taking notes. And the non-note takers were amazed at how fast the note takers. And we said, they're taking notes. Like it is just that they're just writing it down. And I think some people were making notes in their phones, but there is a repeatable and like studyable action about writing it out with your own hand that makes it more, it sticks better, you know?
Yeah. You also you have your own little ways of like shorthanding letters and like that you'll understand later.
Yeah.
Or not understand later. That's also a big issue. But this thing is, look, there are 3 forms of learning, right? Is visually, speaking them, and then writing them, right? So like covering all 3 each time, it is the smarter way to do it, because then you're like, hey, I've hit everything. If it doesn't stick, I'm just an idiot and done, you know, and then move on. But realistically, like I can't take notes I can't take legible notes as fast as but I'm like, I'll use a voice recorder and just start talking and just and like, okay, because I can review it. I mean, I don't review it, but I can at a later date, theoretically, to make myself better. It's not going to happen. Did you look up the film Dead Man's Shoes? I did. I'm not sure I can find it available.
Is this somebody from a different show?
Yeah, I do a lot of shows. So it was for the movie Mondays. We've been watching scary movies and stuff, and people are liking it, but also we're trying to find like really cool stuff. We did one the other day, and it was fucking weird.
Did you do Late Night with the Devil yet, like I was suggesting?
No, we haven't done that. We did do Ichi the Killer. We've done Tokyo Ghoul Police, a few other ones. We did Terrifier. We did it.
Are you a horror fan, Sarah?
Yes, I am. I was actually going to say, one of my all-time favorite ones is Goodnight Mommy. Are you familiar with this guy? It's a Scandinavian horror film. It's so fucking good. The greatest horror films exist to me inside the things that people's minds can do. And it's a fucking amazing horror film. The twist is incredible. It's so good.
I was skeeved out enough by Midsommar.
I like
my wife is such a huge horror fan. I'm very much not, but I've kind of been Stockholm syndromed into liking horror.
You know what? Another one that I just saw that was so good was, I think it was called No Other Choice, the Korean movie. I forget who's the director, but god damn, that was so good. The same director as Parasite. Fuck.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it. We actually just watched. It was called
Bong Joon-ho.
Yes.
The 49. It's the 49. No, it was about the 49 days of what decides if you get reincarnated or not. It was 2 parts, and it was like, okay, the first part was this guy who unexpectedly died, and then it tears apart his entire life and everything.
Okay.
I was thinking I'm going to die for like days afterward, where I'm just like, I'm not happy with my life right now. I'm like, oh God, this is too much. Like, it was brutal. It was,
that's how you know it's a good movie, where it just kind of sits on your chest like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like this is the whole thing too, right? Like it's one of those weird things because movie culture has been changing a lot, right? And some of it has been good, some of it has been confusing. Another of it, you're just going, oh, this is a waste of money. But after all is said and done, it's the same thing where like we're all, I say we, I make that assumption, but everyone is suffering to some degree of TikTok brain. And it's now we're seeing the consequence of it right through to work, to communication, to everything is just kind of funneling in. And you're going, oh, this is the worst. Where like even they were explaining how newer movies have really dumb dialogue. It's so at any moment you could put down your phone and be right back into it.
Did you watch the Oscars and they had like a little sketch where it's Conan and he's in Casablanca and it's like Casablanca for people who are on their phone. And then like, play it again, Sam, and blah, blah, blah. And, we're in a bar in Africa in World War II.
Yes.
That's the Hitler one, right? Yes. Like,
Oh, like it makes me sick. Like, so Indianapolis, if you ever get to come here, we have an amazing independent theater called Can K-A-N-K-A-N. But they show all incredible independent films. But I hadn't been to a major release in a long time, and I went with, I think it had to be my niece and nephew. But I remember thinking, like, there's no fucking way that this Marvel movie is this stupid, is like clearly written for very stupid, very, very short attention spans, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, this, there has to be more to this. And I love, there's this film scholar on YouTube that I love who talks about Michael Bay movies and how he does that rotational shot because nothing's really happening in the frame and the dialogue's not very good. So like move the camera around so you're like, whoa, it's so exciting. And you know, like I know I keep trying to bring this back to work, but like this affects this whole like attention span thing, and like needing it spelled out for you has gotten to a point where like the irony is what we now need is like 40-page training documents. The irony being that no one would read half of the first page of that 40-page training document because we need things spelled out to that degree of steps. You know what I mean?
It's well, and that's why like a lot of trainings are videos now, and it's like people, you know, teachers have to do this thing every year, every single year. They make you do the training for like bloodborne pathogens, and like I get that they're covering their bases legally, but it's the same training every year. So there's a joke where like you just keep hitting next until they get to the quiz at the end, and then like we all pass it because we've done this however many times we've done it. But the fact that they have to do that multiple times is sad. And
I essentially, so I work in blood banking, which is essentially comes down to, it's a factory job. The factory is just really weird and it changes all the times and we have no idea where the parts are coming from.
The parts are blood.
The parts are blood. The parts are people. And what we end up doing is the same thing over and over and over every day. And that is why this has stuck out to me so much, is because like in all my other creative jobs, we were doing something different every day. It's easy for a person who like can't get with the program to kind of get lost in that, because like creative jobs are really hard. There's like all the normal onboarding stuff. And then it's like, also, I'm going to need your 10 best ideas today. We're going to throw them all away. We're going to start again tomorrow. I need those 10 ideas. I can do them right now. But in a manufacturing setting that's SOP based, you're like, holy fuck, dude. Like, there's simply no way that you need this much help at this point. Cause like, my Christ, it's written on a piece of paper. Here it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is, you know what, but that's the hilarious part about it all, where like after all is said and done, the freedom that a regular process where you don't have to think and you could just learn, that the freedom that it gives you is unbelievably good, because it allows your brain, like I was discussing with somebody, I'm like, listen, so if I work all day in a mentally difficult environment, like when I was a financial planner, I'm like, at the end of the day, your brain's like, hey man, we're going home and we're eating dog shit. That's all. We don't care. Whereas if it's a physical day, I'm like, my brain can push my body significantly further at the end of the day. And I'm like, that it was a whole thing. And people are like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, trust me, it's very true. And it actually, you can strap it into a whole bunch of stuff, but that's the realistic part of it, is that side of things gives you freedom that you can't attain in a creative job, in a job where you're constantly talking with people and you're like having to get into it. And you're like, there's no perfect job, but you know, having elements of both where you're like, hey, you should be able to be creative, but at the same time have the freedom at the end of the day where you're like, oh, I have the rest of my life to experience. And you know, it's a good thing. Stress eating. Like, no shit, bro. I know. I was trying not to say it.
A teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher. And we both have a thing when we come home. We just need like, don't bother me for an hour. Like, an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I get home before she does, just because I get out when school ends and then come home, and then she has to deal with like pick up of all the kids and stuff. So she's there for longer. So that naturally
also works when she runs her baby fight club. Her baby fight club's after. It's fine. We know the truth.
And in this corner, so yeah, like that's just kind of part of it. And then I was also I've been trying to work something out in regards to teaching ADHD students. And that is that they don't do work unless there is some kind of crunch, and then they do it really, really well.
Yep.
And I've been talking to my friend who is in med school right now who has ADHD. I'm like, how do you do this? This sounds incredibly stressful. And they said that like you kind of need a mentally stimulating job that has a bunch of things going on at once. Like EMTs are full of ADHD people.
Yep.
Because they constantly have something happening.
That's right.
And it's just not good in a like normal school setting, and I'm trying to kind of meet them halfway because I know they're not trying to be lazy. It's just like they know they want to do it. I know they're smart, but like there's something that's not working. That
Artificial crunch times are great. Like artificial crunch times, what I'll do is I'll set a timer for myself. Fuck dishes. If I could simply open my kitchen window and throw them out, it would just be like a Greek island, to borrow, I know you're familiar, like just shards everywhere, but I have to fucking wash them. So I set a timer for 10 minutes and I tell myself that I am that Tasmanian devil of dishwashing, and I just go as fast as I can for 10 minutes, and holy shit, maybe I can get it done. And then it's only 10 minutes, and I only have to do it for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. And like
I've been trying to incorporate
it by accident, kind of. Where we just finished reading Raisin in the Sun, and we're about to do Othello. And what I've did with like reading the play, instead of being like read this scene and then come back and we'll discuss it, I set a 20-minute timer. We read the play together and then we discuss it. And then it's like you go to the movies and you're talking about the movie after. And it's been working great. So I think I just kind of did that by accident.
Yep. Gamifying as much as you can so that like I would encourage you to read a great book called Dopamine Nation. Have you ever heard of this?
Dopamine Nation. No, I never have.
So it's all about the way that like our sort of modern communication systems have hijacked our dopamine feedback loop. But in the meantime, you get this really good understanding of the dopamine feedback loop, which is like the task accomplishment, like whatever. So I would also encourage short bursts where they all have to contribute something that they can visualize as being complete in some way. I don't know how that would work out for you in an English setting, but I don't know.
The game of Jeopardy. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just be like, okay, tell me about this. Tell me about this. Tell me about this.
Well,
go.
Also,
just, like,
my little fancy boy prep school people were very competitive, and the thing we loved the most, because like #asshole culture, was like someone would put one sentence that had some errors in on the board, and everybody would like compete to see who could find the most errors. Like, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. That sounds humiliating now that I say it out loud.
Yeah.
I always do Shakespeare at the end of the year, and I know that this part in the year seniors are like, I've gotten into college, fuck all of you. But you still need to pass English to graduate. So what I do for Othello is like, okay, here is a list of different themes. Pick one, and this is a horse. Yep. You are tracking how often that horse shows up in the play and how much you could like, and it really comes down to like, how much do you pay attention and can dig that out of what you're seeing? And then whoever gets the most gets candy at the end.
I like this.
It worked for me last year, so
it's not a bad idea.
We'll
Listen, there's a distinct process that needs to be used for certain people, right? It's not like, for me, I walked in so I grew up in a machine shop. My dad had a machine shop. I was most likely going to work there. So I'm like, if this whole school thing doesn't work out, I don't give a shit. My dad bought me a new car when I was 18. Like, I had we were just nice middle class. I have a house in Greece, all the good things, right? So I would argue with teachers, and I'm like, this is just really expensive babysitting. I'm like, none of this makes any sense. I'm like, you can't show me how this is applicable to me.
That's the worst part.
Oh, 100%. And the worst part is, it doesn't have to be that way, right? But for some, like, I had a couple teachers that I had known like grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and suddenly I was put in their class, and I would go one class, two class, and I walk up and be like, hey, I'm going to try and leave. They're like, thank fucking God, I can't have you in my class. We talk as peers because I was 6'2" in grade 9, right? So talking with adults, they're like, "Oh, you're an adult too," because I look like this. But in turn, they're just like, "Oh no, we can't talk like that anymore because you're here as my student, and I'll fucking kill you because you're a pain in the ass." I'm like, "Oh, that's fair. That's totally reasonable." But like having a game for ADHD, that's genius. There was a guy on TikTok where he has a friend call him every 2 weeks and says, "Hey, I'm going to be at your house in 45 minutes." And so it forces him to speed clean the entire house. And at 50 minutes, it's like, "Hey, you still coming over?" Like, "No, you told me to call you every 2 weeks and let you know that I'm coming in 45 minutes. And he's like, "Oh, you're not coming?" He's like, "No." Yeah. And he's like, "Cool, thank you. Really appreciate it." He's like, "Yeah, no problem." Just like, but that's the thing is like being helpful to your friends in that way, like knowing how you function as well is important. Like in school, the whole idea is everyone functions the same, and it's the same in work. Everyone does the same. Everyone can do exactly the same stuff, which like that's not true. Like I think anyone who's ever worked or been in a class, any sort of group project, no, not everyone can do everything. That's just fucking. It's just not true, right? So being able to kind of cater to certain people is just my nightmare. I guess it's everyone's nightmare. I think I don't know.
My English teacher, Mr. Zimmerman, who made me into the writer that I am. I owe him a lot. I got a 780 on the verbal part of the SAT, largely because of him. But what he was great at is he would make us do a lot of flash fiction near the end because we were seniors. We were burned out. Like we didn't want to do anything. He would be like, "I need you to tell a thrilling story and you have 100 words in 10 minutes to write it in," and just like spring shit on us like that, just to kind of keep us on our toes. But he would always do a style over grammar. So there were some kids who had no creativity. They're going to be fucking amazing tax attorneys. You know what I mean? Like they're going to save some terrible poisonous company billions one day. And they have no styles, but they had perfect grammar and they deserve points for that, right? Like, and in the real world, the way that comes out is my new coworker, Dion, is the best fucking dude ever. Like, this guy fucks. He is awesome. He has a fantastic attitude. He is so nice to blood donors. He says yes, ma'am to women, and it makes them like swoon over Dion. He calls men boss man, and they love it. And
100%.
he has the best attitude. I'm so excited to see him every day. And he makes mistakes sometimes, and I do not give a shit. Like, I think he is so smart. He is right where we need him to be. It doesn't matter that he doesn't fill out the forms. He's going to learn that over time, right? He's receptive to that correction. But more importantly, like, he has value there that has nothing to do with how good he is step by step at his job. And the real world actually values all these things. If you're willing to improve on the strict grammar portion of it, like, your style in the real world can take you so fucking far if you're just a nice person that people like being around.
Yeah, like charisma takes you a very long way, as I think a lot of kids are kind of noticing. Like they know that the world is being run by very mediocre white men, but they have a certain amount of charisma to some people. That's one thing. But there are people who are like, I don't got the riz, their words. And and I'm just
please never say that again. Never use that word ever again. Ever. Even in your dreams.
Dictionary now, Dino. Sorry, since 2023, it's been in the dictionary.
It's not a word.
But even if you don't, like Sarah was saying, like just being polite takes you a very long way.
Yeah.
And,
hey, listen, I learned this from Cole. And so I did every time I interact with somebody. So drive through, walking up to a store. First thing I'm out, they're like, "Hi, can I help you?" I'm like, "How are you today?"
Yep.
And every time they go,
I do that too. Yeah.
I'm okay. They're like, "That's great." They're like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "I'm having a great day." They're like, "What can I do for you?" I'm like, "I would need these things. The best you can do is appreciate it." And especially like when I walk in all murder faced, they're like, "Fuck." And then I'm like, "How are you today?" And they're like, "The fuck is happening?" Like it freaks people out. And honestly, to the point where like, so my local drive through Starbucks, because let's be honest, I'm not getting out of the car. I start talking, and as soon as I greet them, I'm like, how are you today? They're like, I'm good. How are you? I'm like, I'm having a great day. And they're like, oh, I know what you want. Do you want anything else? And I'm like, oh, you guys remember, man, you guys got a gold star today. And they're just like, we got a gold star. All of a sudden you hear another voice be like, hey, thanks. We really appreciate your business. I'm like, hey, I appreciate you guys. You know how hard it is for me to come here? I have to get dressed and it's a lot of work because I'm a big guy. And then they just start laughing and you're like, listen, I could be a piece of shit and I pay the same amount for being a piece of shit as I do for a good person. But if I'm a good person or a nice person, at least there's a less likelihood of people chasing me with pitchforks and torches. Just
you don't have to be an employee to be nice to people. Yeah. And also it tends to go a lot further as
I don't know. I'm not nice to fellow employees either though.
The babies on the internet said we're smiling at customers excessive emotional labor. And I really had to take about 5 minutes with that. And what I said was, at 18, what fucking skills do you have besides your smile and your happy face? You know what I mean? Like, you know, unless you're going to trade school and you're marching out of your trade school at 18 like a certified electrician, which they are, babies, all the babies who are saying like it's never going to be possible for me to make a living wage. Like, I would like to introduce you to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Like, they would love to have you. They will pay you to train you to be an electrician. Then you can go make $100,000 and get that like 4-bedroom house straight out of, you know, at 25 or whatever.
My friend Dan is doing exactly that right now as we speak. Yeah.
Hell yeah, Dan.
This is scientific fact.
Not where the name of the show comes from, by the way.
Everyone poops. Plumbing will never die. It's just a fact. Right. Number 2, mankind has always wanted to know what is hiding in the dark. Electricity will always be a job. Those are the two. Everything else is basically just farming. That's all you're doing. You could be the farmer or an electrician or a plumber. After that, that's it. Then you just have to rely on good looks like me.
Like if you have no intrinsic motivation to be a reliable person, like if you have no motivation to just be nice to other people because it feels good and it's like you know, an adaptive trait that we have, do it as an insurance like payment, right? Like, if you come to work and you're pretty fucking reliable and you do something will happen, right? Like, shit happens, life happens. You might be like me and you take a GLP-1 and you don't know how it's going to affect you. And the answer is a whole lot of puking going on. And you say, hey, I got to just run off the blood bus, because you literally have to run off the blood bus and just hurl in a bush nearby and like try to cover your company logo real quick when you hurl in the bush. Or something else happens. That's just a little autobiographical story for me. But you're going to need people to cover for you. And then just nicer and more pleasant person you are, the more people are willing to just help you when shit is bad for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an addendum to that, also, don't trust any one of your workers. Not one of them. Don't trust any one of them. Just the nice thing. Whoever thinks you're nice to them, they will cover you as a nice gesture. But don't trust that they will do what's right for you. Okay. It's just a precautionary thing. Maybe I'm jaded. I don't know. But some people just want to be bad. It's just,
I think, okay, this is like a theory.
It's Game of Thrones out there
before, which it's a Game of Thrones out there. I'm telling you, it's 7 dwarves to Game of Thrones spectrum. Like, but
I don't feel included in that because we're not allowed to carry swords or hammers, and it's not fair.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
But I think there's this sort of thing where, thanks to this is very vague, but a lot of media since like the mid to late 2000s, you have anti-heroes and jerkasses being the people who go really far in media. Even though Walter White dies at the end, he's a meth kingpin. Yay. Yep. So I think a lot of Zoomers probably, whether they notice or not, are like, if I'm a jerk ass, then I can do something is succeed, and the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of my understanding of like courtship and love and romance in the mid 2000s came from the cartoons and stuff I watched.
Yep.
Whether or not you realize it, your kid is like absorbing the lessons of whatever it is they're watching and reading.
I mean, listen, okay, so Erwin just piped in. I'm polite to my neighbors, but I won't let them in my house. I mean, I think that's the most reason. That's why doors.
I feel like if you shout that at them, that kind of gets the message.
And the other thing is, like, I'm very polite only at work. Like, and I don't want this to sound so psychotic, but like, I don't hang out with my coworkers outside of work. And
No,
like, I think that's fine.
Why would you?
You know what I mean?
Why would you?
Like,
listen,
I
unless
think
you want to, yeah.
And this is also probably a little fucked up. If I did, it would be people at my same level. And like, I think that's fine to have that as a boundary. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That like,
I don't hang out with my admin. If I do hang out with it, it's with other teachers, you know?
That's right. It's like in a work setting, and like for the same reason, like, oh, here's a good tip. Just because there's an open bar at the work event does not mean you should drink even more than one drink. One drink is enough drinks at most company events.
Listen, also, little advice is if you're going to have a beer, pour it in a glass. No one will ever know how many beers you have. That's number one. Number two, don't get buzzed. Because if you're buzzed, you're already drunk and life is just catching up on you. Never. That's right. It's a work function. Don't. Hey. And also, you're like, hey, I always wondered about. No, you didn't. Shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth immediately. No talking. Yeah. I think there are too many people who feel that because we work together, we should hang out and be friends. And I'm like, not.
Which they learned from The Office.
Well, okay, but this is the thing. Like I was saying this the other day on a different show, was that I'm like, anyone in my family, so siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, anyone, I would lay down my life immediately without question. No, nothing. I would go for it. Would I have dinner with them? Some of them. Probably, because that's my spare. Yeah, that's not my duty. That's just my fun time, and I don't need to do that. Right, because I'm doing what's right. I'm doing what's right. Doesn't mean I have to spend my free time. That's ridiculous, right? It's
and maybe this is colored by the fact that like sometimes you have days like today where nothing happens at the blood drive, and you end up sort of learning everybody's like deep personal lore, just because like. I mean, you're at a Baptist church in J fucking County. Like, what else are you gonna do? And there's, for me, I don't know, this is an aging thing, right? Like, I'm comfortable with every chapter of my story. Like, some of the chapters I'm not the hero of, and I'll tell you those as well as I will the chapters that I'm the hero of. But we're back to, some of this is simply youth, but like, god damn, these kids with their fucking surveillance culture scares the shit out of me, and like what they're going to grow up thinking is a normal amount of like social performance. Like, do you remember your parents yelling and screaming at you and then opening the door and being like, hi, everything is fine. Like, no one's crying in this house, right? Which is like, there was literally a door. There was a door and a wall. You were at home or you were not at home, where like now it feels like the common, the use of like taking a video of everything and posting it on TikTok, feels like a total dissolution of front stage and backstage self, I guess.
Yeah. There's that. And then like, I noticed a lot of friends were like, so I was like watching him on like Find My iPhone or whatever it is. Like they give each other the, like, where's the mystique at this point? Even like my sister-in-law, we were watching our nephews, and it turns out that my sister-in-law put an air tag in one of my nephew's shoes. And they're like, you'll be home in 5 minutes. We're like, sorry, what? How do you know that? Aren't we supposed to tell you that? It's very strange. And my sister-in-law is like older than us too, which is odd.
Hey, that just means she has more accumulated psycho tendencies. That's all that means. Because if she's in my group, trust me, something happened. She's like, not on my watch. And just
that's also part of the reason that like you have kids freaking the fuck out. California, in the last couple of years, bless you, Pumpkin. California, the last couple years,
get it together, Pumpkin. Jesus.
And gave kids these like yonder pouches, like when you go to a concert and you put them in. And of course, they immediately start freaking out because they're like, what if my mom needs to reach me? They'll call the school. but my boyfriend's texting me. When will I answer him? It's a text message. You answer the next time you can text. Also, everyone is under the same set of rules in the same school. He should know that you're not supposed to have your phone in the first place. But because it's like there's no backstage anymore, Jesus pumpkin have COVID.
Jesus pumpkin have COVID. Maybe. I have a question for you guys. Because you guys are younger than I am, and this is all the immediate accessibility that I experience is very frustrating to me because Sarah. So this is a thing. I'm that friend that doesn't sleep. So when I get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning, I pick up and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Why are you still up?" I'm like, "Why are you calling?" And then it continues from there. And
I don't know how he does
the thing is, like, I feel bad when I don't immediately respond to text messages. When the whole point of a text message is that I'll get to it when I get to it. I don't need to focus on it. But it's like even people will send me like memes on Instagram and everything, and I'm like, I have to go through all of them, and I'm just like and respond and everything, and I'm just like, I just want to turn my phone off. And like it's a weird thing. Do you guys feel guilty for that, or is that a old person thing?
Can I hit you with a 2-minute free psychoanalysis?
Hit me.
It sounds like you derive a sense of value from what you're able to do for others rather than just like your intrinsic sense of value.
Yes.
Yep. So the interacting with people, what you're wanting to show them is like gratitude that they put the effort in for you, right? Like Absolutely. It's like and you don't want them to think that you're not grateful for them to interact with them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know. Just so you know, they know.
Okay. Yeah. It's very weird. It's very weird for me because I'm just like, I have some friends who push it. And I'm like, hey, stop being an asshole. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Go sleep with your family. And they're like, well, I just saw this fight. Go to bed. Like, I woke up to go to the bathroom. I'm like, you're not supposed to be up. This is my time. It's private.
You gotta
go back to bed.
You gotta do not disturb yourself. You gotta lock yourself out of your phone.
I usually only do that when I'm on mushrooms. I'll be honest with you. And then it's just like, I'll be back in 8 hours and probably 10. Just an FYI. And they'll be like, hey, I messaged you. I'm like, I know. I didn't give a shit because I had 4 hands. It was weird. When you have 4 hands, it's a lot harder to figure out which one is going to pick up the phone and type. It does not work. But yeah, so this has been very entertaining. I'll be honest with you, Sarah. What else? Anything else? We're a little bit over time, but Sarah, where can everyone follow you and interact with you? Is just, or if you don't want them to, that's okay too. But you know,
no, I was going to say
backstage. Yeah,
I am on TikTok at Sarah's Still Here, like Sarah, not without the I. So Sarah's Still Here. I used to have a podcast that I did. We might revive it. We were just very, very sure that Kamala Harris was going to win, and then she didn't, and everything was really sad. And so we just sort of let it die on the vine. But it used to be called The Perpetual Stew. It's very good. It's about the intersection of law and real life. My co-host Matt is a law professor and judicial educator, and a lawyer, and he's really cool. And but yeah, TikTok is the best place to find me. Yeah.
Right.
And a clip from this will be on TikTok, and it will tag you, and I'm sure
awesome.
The people who watch and angrily comment will see it. So we'll see how they react.
Tell them they could join my fight club whenever they want. It'll be fine. It'll be an education. I'll tell you that.
I'll bring that up at the drivers, the next drivers meeting. I'm one of the drivers at my job. I think a driver fight club, because we can't yell because we're driving company logo vehicles, but we could punch each other. I think they'd be fine with that.
I'm just like, it could be like a punch buggy scenario, but it's more you're a dick. Boom. No hitbacks. But like it's
and then Sarah gets to have one of the scene from Sherlock Holmes where he's beating the guy up and like describes how he's going to kick the shit out of him.
Look, there's a whole thing. I think it was Germans did it where a husband and wife were allowed to fight. The husband had to have one arm tied behind his back and had to be I think it was hip deep or waist deep in dirt, and he had one hand free, and the wife would get a stick. So I'm like, she can run around him with a stick. He only has one hand. It's a fair fight. Like there is, ways to do this. It could work. But anyway.
You can follow the show at Generation Dan wherever fine social medias are found. Follow me at Atlas Novak, also where fine social medias are found. Like TikTok, where I happen to come across Sarah's videos and invited her to be on this show. I mostly do sketches about what it is to be a teacher, and there's a lot of musical theater in there and stuff. If you're in the LA area, I am doing a show in Azusa at the Beyond the Canvas Art Studio, where they normally have paint and sips. It's the Laugh and Sip show. Check out my Instagram, also at Atlas Novak, for that, or you can follow my other show, Nexus at Night, which is about the trading card game Card Fight Vanguard. If that's not your thing, go fuck yourself, Dino.
I am Dino the Genetic Marvel. I'm on the internet all the time. On Monday, we are commemorating the loss of, I guess, some sort of deity. Chuck Norris has passed. And so we're watching Missing in Action on Monday. We also have Morning Motivational Rant and, of course, Motherfucking Monday, because how else do you celebrate the end of the weekend? I need more things to do. I'm also going to get back to building Lego, so that should be fun. But in the meantime, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. There will be clips of this, so make sure you follow everyone. And if you don't, we can't be friends. And that's much worse because I'm bigger than you. But in the meantime, Sarah, if you can't stick around, we're just going to have our little outro, and then we'll do a little chit chat. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.